Man, the good news just keeps coming, Illinois. I hope y'all are listening. They thought he was bluffing. Can't wait to let y'all hear this one. How are you guys all doing? Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith and you're watching my channel, Model Renaissance Man, in which I'm greatly appreciative of. Make sure that you guys are following me on all the platforms you see above and below. Hitting this like button right here is how my content can consistently be recommended to you. And if and when you do subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that bell notification, which will bring up another little tab that will allow you to select all notifications. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some good news here, folks. I don't know if it's good for some of y'all, especially snow cone color hair, social justice warrior, jellyback 65 entitled loonies. Yeah. First of all, within 5 hours of being sworn in, federal funding for blue states was cut. Sanctuary cities getting completely halted. Ladies and gentlemen, who is this going to hurt? You will say it's going to hurt the people. Well, if it wasn't for people like J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, and other blue city mayors and governors and whatever you want to call them, if it wasn't for them, the people who it's going to hurt would not be getting hurt by this, because they are the ones that are getting in the way of you guys becoming prosperous, becoming better, of America absolutely 100% being number one and being put first. They rather put illegals before you. Do y'all not understand that? You know what? Before I even go into my rant, I want to bring y'all attention to Exhibit A. Trump DOJ slaps Illinois, Chicago with lawsuit over sanctuary laws. The Trump administration has sought to ramp up deportations. The Department of Justice today filed a lawsuit, which is Thursday, against the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago for allegedly interfering with federal immigration enforcement. The latest escalation in the battle between the Trump administration and the Democrat-led cities and states over the administration's mass deportation operation. The lawsuit filed in Illinois against Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and others claimed that several state and local laws are designed to and, in fact, interfere and discriminate against federal government's enforcement of federal immigration law in violation of the supremacy clause in the United States Constitution. President Trump declared a national emergency at the border on the first day of his administration as part of a slew of moves to crack down on illegal immigration and increase border security. The lawsuit claims there is a national crisis of illegal immigrants entering the U.S. and presenting significant threats to national security and public safety, which it is, which it has, which we've all seen. Lake and Riley's, young men and women getting sexually assaulted. They're beating up the police officers, shooting at police officers. Further exacerbating the national crisis, some of these aliens find safe havens from federal law enforcement detection in so-called sanctuary cities where they live and work among innocent Americans who may later become their crime victims, it says. I mean, it's amazing that you guys are good about sexual predators being within the vicinity of where you live. Y'all good with that, right? Wouldn't it be funny, though, if for anybody that came into our country, they got some type of, I'm just being real. I mean, look, I'm just kind of saying some out of their things, so just go with me. Wouldn't it be funny if that anybody got into our country legally somehow had a special stamp or something? I'm being funny, y'all. Let me stop. No, seriously. If these people came into our country, which is why they get rid of their IDs and everything like that, if you knew who they were, wouldn't you want to know who they are? And if they stay in the vicinity, I mean, I meant like the special stamp thing I was going to say about getting the microchip in there, but I figured, you can take a microchip out, cut it out or something like that. So that wouldn't work. So this says, well, let me start by being clear that when we were talking about violent criminals who've been convicted and who are undocumented, we don't want them in our state. We want them out of the country. We hope they get deported. And if that's who they're picking up, we're all for it, is what Pritzker said last month. There's a federal law that clearly states if you are undocumented and you are convicted of a crime, you are subject to deportation. That's the law. I fully expect the federal government to uphold that law, is what Mayor Brandon Johnson said. Being a welcoming city just simply states that our local police department will not behave as federal agents. There's a clear separation of powers there. But the lawsuit argues that the laws in the state and city are an international effort to obstruct the federal government's enforcement of federal immigration law and to impede consultation and communication between federal, state, and local law enforcement officials that is necessary for the federal officials to carry out federal immigration law and keep Americans safe. Pretty much, you grew up in the hood and stuff like that. It's the whole snitches get stitches. So they're telling the police don't snitch. If they come to you, ICE comes to you, hey, we heard that they just want the police just to. Upon information and belief, the conduct of officials in Chicago and Illinois minimally enforcing and oftentimes affirmatively thwarting the federal immigration laws over a period of years has resulted in countless criminals being released into Chicago who should have been held for immigration removal from the United States, it says. The lawsuit cites a number of laws, including the Illinois Way Forward Act, the Trust Act, and the Chicago Welcoming City Ordinance as laws which hinder federal immigration enforcement. In response, Pritzker said that, unlike Donald Trump, Illinois followed the law. The bipartisan Illinois Trust Act, signed into law by a Republican governor, has always been compliant with federal law and still is today. Illinois will defend our laws that prioritize police resources for fighting crime. That's some bull crap. You really thought I was going to forget about how the mayor before this crazy mayor, Brandon Johnson, y'all remember how Mayor Lightfoot, the way that they were so soft on crime, the way they told police that they're not to pursue people that are on foot, they put so much stuff in place that when Mayor Lightfoot was there, the police couldn't even do their jobs. A police officer lost her life getting shot like practically, point blank. And when Lori Lightfoot showed up to the hospital where she was, guess what the police officers them did? They all turned their back. I covered this story. My cousins up in Chicago gave it to me. I saw it. You guys saw it. I posted it on my channel. It's still there. They turned their back on her. So for them to sit there and say what Pritzker just got done saying, while enabling state law enforcement to assist with arresting violent criminals, he said, instead of working with us to support law enforcement, the Trump administration is making it difficult to protect the public. Idiots, you letting these illegals into our country, into these sanctuary cities. They've already taken over some of the after school programs there. They've overwhelmed some of the shelters there. People in the hood, and it's mainly the hood. It's not the suburbs. It's not no one Bossy. It's not Naperville. What is it? Mainly the south and west side, where a lot of black folks stay at near the hood. Those people are there in overwhelming numbers, and black people are there complaining, and you're up here talking about to protect the public. You weren't protecting the public from our own domestic criminals, let alone foreign. Bunch of bull crap. The Trump administration is making it more difficult to protect the public, just like they did when Trump pardoned the convicted January 6th violent criminals. Who did those criminals kill? Like these illegals. Who did these criminals kill? Like these violent thugs up in Chicago right now. Who did those J6ers kill? Huh? And what you talking about? Who did Biden pardon? You need to pardon some of that weight off his body is what he needs to do. He said, we look forward to seeing them in court. No, you don't. The lawsuit comes a day after Attorney General Pam Bondi signed a directive to limit funding to sanctuary cities, is what I was telling you guys about earlier. Sanctuary jurisdictions typically limit or forbid state and local law enforcement cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement detainers. Request that illegal immigrants in custody be transferred to ICE. So huge shout out, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, huge shout out to Miss Pam Bondi. She wasn't even in there 5 hours, I think, and just like, nope, take it away. Supporters of sanctuary laws say that it allows otherwise law-abiding illegal immigrants to report crimes and cooperate with police. Opponents say that it results in the release of deportable convicted criminals back onto the streets and potentially reoffend. The Trump deportation operation has targeted sanctuary cities, including Chicago, New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., and others in a number of raids that have resulted in sometimes over 1,000 illegal immigrants arrests a day. And that's how work is supposed to be done. That's how work should be done, period. And what people get pissed off, and I tried to tell you guys before it happened, I said, y'all do know that when you do something illegal, that's considered a crime. Those who commit crimes are considered a criminal. So I don't care if it's stealing, killing, robbing, mugging, hijacking, sexual assaulting, whatever you want to have it. Are those things illegal? You say yes. Why? It's illegal. And when you break those laws, you did what? You commit a crime, which makes you a criminal, which criminal has the word crime in it, pertaining to crime. You committed a crime. So if you are an illegal alien in America right now, you already have committed a crime, which means you are to be deported. Period. If our current statutes right now is going to be, if you are an illegal, like folks get mad, I'm going to keep on saying that I do not care because I'm putting my family, which are my fellow American brothers and sisters first, despite of whether you agree with me or not. I don't care if it's their grandma, grandpa, she can be 80, she can be 90, she can be 60, 50, 40. I don't care. You can have kids, 7, 8, 9 of them. If you are here illegally, bye-bye. Yeah. Anyway, that's my take on that. What do you guys think? Whatever the case may be, leave it in the comments below after this video. Let me hear it from you, my fellow American brothers and sisters. Don't forget to do what you guys see all right here. And if you would like to see the next video that I will be doing most likely in chronological order, it's up there. You should know what's down here. I am Ty Smith, Model Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.